As we are getting out of the spring season and more into the summer season here in Serbia, a lot of people are looking to come and either tour Serbia or finally make that move and relocate. But not just listening to me, but there are other people out there that have a certain opinion of Serbia, the pros, the cons, and what to expect. And today I'm going to read an article from the Global Citizens Solutions about all three of those topics, and you're going to want to hear what they have to say. Now, this article from Global Citizens Solutions was released March 25th of this year, and the title is Living in Serbia, Pros, Cons, and What to Expats Should Know. Now, I talk about a lot of the positives. I just recently dropped a video about the negatives of Serbia. However, that's just from my perspective, and many other people out there have their own perspectives of what it's like to live in Serbia. Now, this article here is going to be talking about other perspectives other than mine, and that's why I'm doing this video. Now, this article starts off with the living in Serbia is a Balkan country and tells you about of course, the natural beauty, the food that you see all across YouTube and other social media platforms. It seems like that's all that a lot of other channels talk about. And that's why this channel here, we don't talk about food and the landscape and things of that nature, because there's enough of that content out there. And what we're looking to do is help those that are looking to, one, visit Serbia, or two, move to Serbia, do so. And that's what we do here at Relocation Serbia, is help those individuals that either have heritage here in Serbia and are looking to obtain citizenship through descent, or if they have visited in the past, or some of our clients have never visited at all and decided to make that leap here in Serbia. We help them with either establishing business, helping them find real estate, so on and so forth, and get through all that bureaucracy, right? And I'm going to skip that little bit of this article here, but we're going to dive into the pros of living in Serbia according to this article. Now, as it states, there are many pros to living in Serbia, including the low cost of living compared to Western Europe and America. Serbia offers a low cost of living compared to the USA. Serbia is 53% less expensive compared with the UK, and Serbia's cost of living is 83% lower. Now, the next one also comes, which many people acknowledge when they come here to Serbia, is safety. Serbia is a very safe country, offering peace of mind to citizens and residents. Now, with the rise in crime all over the country, especially Western Europe, with all the migrant crises that they have there, the United States, you have had, tremendous amount of crime there. And even in Canada, once known as a safe haven, now has been seeing a huge increase in car thefts, break and enters, you name it, assaults, people getting their children taken away from them off the street, simply walking to school and never seeing them again. And that's something that you don't see here in Serbia. Of course, Serbia is not at a 0% crime rate. It's very much petty crimes here, which is nothing to be really concerned about. And of course, if you stay out of trouble, you will not see trouble here in Serbia, and that's something beautiful to see. The next one that they touch on is the affordable healthcare system. So this one especially is for those expats that are going to be looking to enter the private healthcare sector here when they move to Serbia, because they're not going to be able to use the public healthcare system, because that is for citizens specifically. However, when it comes to the private healthcare sector, one, they have a lot better technology in those facilities, and two, you will be able to see a doctor that much quicker. Speaking from my own personal experience, and you can speak to other expats out there, we had to go take our son into a clinic not too long ago to just look at a rash that was on his body for a while. We thought it was a food allergy, and that's what it ended up being. However, we called, or I did, I called at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they were able to take him in at 9 a.m., get him checked out, scripts filled, and sent home within a half hour. And we were back home by 10 o'clock in the morning. And they did a thorough checkup of him and went actually above and beyond what we actually asked for them. So that's one thing. So this article does state that the public healthcare system in Serbia is significantly cheaper than other countries in European Union and the U.S. Private healthcare and private healthcare insurance is also cheaper. So one thing that this article does note is that the public healthcare system is significantly cheaper. While in the public healthcare system here in Serbia, you pay that through taxes, and so when you do go visit someone in public healthcare, it's typically free for citizens. But when you're coming here as an expat, you will have to use the private healthcare system. The next one it touches on is the stunning natural landscapes, which of course everyone knows. And then the other one that we help a lot of our clients with is residency by investment opportunities. The Serbia Residency by Investment program offers foreign nationals the opportunity to invest in the Serbian economy in exchange for residency. Now, you have to understand that your country has to have a reciprocity law in place in order for you as a foreign national to purchase property here in Serbia. Just because you purchase property here in Serbia does not mean you have to obtain residency here, but some people choose that route and find it the easiest route, especially those who are entering the retirement age where they like, hey, listen, we've saved up all this money and we're looking to settle down somewhere, and they move to Serbia, purchase a plot of land, obtain residency, and they're set. It's a very straightforward process. Now, the last one that they touch on is the ease of travel. Living in Serbia offers citizens and residents ease of travel throughout Europe. Additionally, the Serbian passport has free access to over 80 countries across the globe. Now, this one is something that I love absolutely, is that being here in Serbia, we can get down to Greece in, about 10 hours. We can head over to Italy. You can go to Croatia. It's a very centralized location that you can check out many places in Europe to go and visit and travel and stay. And especially if you're a digital nomad, be able to work at the same time. And being, if you're coming here as an expat and you are under a temporary residency program, you can stay here for 183 days as you are required under your temporary residency program, and then go travel the other half of the year and not have to worry about that. So that is something that is beautiful, and that's something that we are doing or and have in the works to do this year alone. Is Greece is one of the things. You're not a Balkan person if you don't go visit Greece. You see here on the news constantly about the backups on the borders when it comes to July and August. Everyone's going for their summer vacations and enjoying the beautiful weather. Now, the cons of living in Serbia is the next part that this article touches on. And depending on how you look at this first one here, I may not see it as a con myself, because I come from a country that has been putting this into your face and ramming it down a lot of people's throats, and people are just simply sick of it. And this is the number one reason that people are moving to Serbia. But they listed it here as a con, that it is not LGBTQ plus friendly. They go on to say that Serbia is not very LGBTQ friendly. Same-sex marriages is not legalized, and Serbia does not allow gay couples to adopt children. I don't honestly see that as a con. We are a very Christian culture here, and so we have old fashioned values. Now, this is not to say that if you are someone who's an adult and you decide to a man marries a man and you're a grown woman and you want to be with a woman, that there's going to be some sort of problem living in Serbia. Absolutely not. But the way we look at this here in Serbia is that you have to keep it to your own four walls of your own residence and not have to have your huge parades. You do not have to have it taught in schools. You do not have to, brainwash children into this. And this is something that has been seen in Canada, where people are actually honestly fed up with it and deciding, hey, listen, this is not what our children need to be taught. We need to learn actual financial literacy, how to do math, English, and not pronouns and gender ideologies. So I do not actually see this as a con, but they listed it as a con here as well. And being that it's not legalized to have same-sex marriages, hey, you're coming to a country that you have to oblige by their laws. If you don't like it, move somewhere else where you feel a little bit more comfortable, and that is actually legalized. The next one that they touch on is the low income rate. Serbia has a low income rate when it compares to other European countries. As of 2023, the average annual gross salary was 118,000 dinars, which equates to 1,013 euros. Now, one of the things that I noticed that people talk about here is their wages, how they are lower. But at the same time, they look at countries that are in Romania, Croatia, Germany, all these other countries. But one thing that they don't take into account is that they are also EU countries. And I'm not supporting EU by any means here. What I'm trying to say is that because in the EU things are also a lot cheaper, of course their costs or their wages have to be a lot higher as well. And you're going to work a lot more as well, and you also are going to be taxed a lot more. The next one that they talk to here is the low quality of public health care. The public healthcare system in Serbia is a bit poor compared to other European countries. The wait times are incredibly long, and the service is not on par with Western Europe. However, there are fantastic private medical facilities, and the cost of private healthcare insurance is less expensive. And I can agree with that one, because here I am as a citizen in Serbia, and I would much rather pay for private healthcare than use the public healthcare system. And that even goes to say, when we had our son born, that we decided to use a private hospital for that, because this level of service was even above par than what you would experience in United States and Canada, and it was well worth the money. Now, something they go on to talk about life in Serbia for foreigners. They talk about the cost of one bedroom apartments, inside the city center, outside of the city centers. I'm going to leave a link to this article in this video so that you can go on with it, because the pricing here is in here, but it's a little vague as to what cities they are geared towards. So, like they say, a one bedroom apartment in the city center is 508 euros. Well, in what city is that? They talk about a three-bedroom apartment in a city center is 918. When I know for a fact that I worked with a certain amount of clients here that have paid for three-bedroom apartments in the center of Belgrade, a couple blocks away from St. Sava Church, and they were paying 1,500 euros. So you got to take this with a grain of salt. They head into the transportation as well, that it has a very well connected transportation system. Buses are mostly widely used in the bigger cities like Belgrade and Novi Sad. Plus, taking the bus in Serbia is inexpensive, with a monthly pass costing only about 21 euros. That also goes to say that if you're looking to travel outside of Serbia, or from say Novi Sad down to Niš, The bus system here is very great. I've used it multiple times. I love it. And if you're looking to go down to Greece, you go to a uh, travel agent and they can set you up with a great price that includes your transportation and luggage. They also touch on the education system. The education system in Serbia is comprehensive with public and private schools available. Public schools are free for residents and citizens of Serbia at all levels except university. Most expats and foreigners choose private international schools in Serbia to ensure that their children receive a similar education to their home country. There are a range of options of varying price points, with tuition fees ranging between 4,000 and 6,000 euros. I believe that price is a little low. We know a couple clients that put their kids into private schools here in Serbia, and it was about 10,000 euros per year per child. Now, they break down into the cost of living here in Serbia. I'm not going to get into that. That's something that you can do for yourself. They do touch on, is Serbia immigrant friendly? They go on to say that absolutely, in general, most Serbian nationals are very friendly, whether it is to locals, expats, or foreigners. The people of Serbia are very family focused, creating a sense of community that is welcoming to most. Now, we do have a client that's coming here in the next couple weeks, and they've been trying to rent a place in Belgrade, and I'm not sure what's going on in that sense, but a lot of them are saying we're not renting to foreigners. So I'm not sure if that's a new trend in Belgrade. We are seeing a lot of people, an influx of people moving to Novi Sad area simply because of the cost of living. It could be that the owners of these apartments are not willing to rent to foreigners, even though this client that's coming here, he is not a foreigner. He's actually Serbian through descent. But, this is just one thing that I've heard in the most recent experience with our clients. This could be something that is just up and coming, or it could just be a fluke and a one off. The other thing that they do touch on is that English is widely spoken in Serbia. Like I've said to a lot of our viewers here and our clients, is that English is actually taught in school as a second language. And so a lot of the younger generations, when you go out to the restaurants, when you go out to certain attractions, they speak English pretty fluently. If you're looking to move out into the villages, now you're going to more than likely need to learn the Serbian language, because in the villages, they don't have a huge, touch point with foreigners or requirement to speak English. So, like I've said in previous videos, if they don't use it, they'll lose it. And they touch on working in Serbia as a foreigner so that you can get work here. And one of the things that we keep on getting bombarded with is finding employment for clients that want to come here that require a visa. We are not an employment agency here. We do not find work for people that are requiring visas. That is something that you need to do on your own. And we also do not process visas. That is strictly done by the Serbian government. We have no control over if you do get approved on your visa or if it's declined and for what reasons that they have been declined. But one of the things that we do see with the foreigners that come here is that they are setting up some sort of digital business here. I'm going to be doing a video in the near future about businesses that I see have huge potential here as a foreigner if you're looking to set up a business that is not a digital business, because that's what a lot of people do. And they go to touch on the final points here is the best places to live for expats in Serbia is one is Novi Sad. I'm going to root on that one because that is where we're based out of. Belgrade is the next one. We do work there quite often. And the last one is Niche, which we have done some work there with some clients, but we see most of our clients coming in to either Belgrade or Novi Sad. Now, I'll leave this uh, link in the description of this video, and you can read the rest of it on how to move to Serbia as a foreigner, by investment, by company formation. And these are all things that we are able to do here at Relocation Serbia. So if you are looking to move to Serbia, whatever the reason it may be, feel free to reach out to us, book in a consultation, and we would be happy to assist you with your move. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.